Good day and welcome to yet another episode of Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza, where we talk schoolboy rugby, and once again, schoolboy rugby. As always, I am really privileged to have the founder of Schoolboy Rugby. You can see it's a bit cold there. He's got a tracksuit on, so he's feeling cold for a change. How are you, Mr. Louis?
Steve, I'm well. It's good to be here, although I'm sitting in the middle of a fridge where I am now.
It's winter time now.
The sun in this room for a very long time. So yeah, it gets a bit nippy, but we are here and we have a job to do, so very good.
Absolutely. Yeah, now for those of you who don't know, Louis is not someone that gets cold very easily. He likes to walk around with slippers or um you know slippers or slips and in a short in short pants. So for him to get cold, you must know it's cold.
Yeah,
But anyways, let's have a look at
that's true.
at today's episode. We're going to have a look at last weekend's result. It's almost exams in South Africa. So we are getting to a kind of almost a kind of a halftime halt with the schoolwork matches. So the games that we're gonna that was taking place this weekend was also quite crunch matches to
Yeah.
sort out a couple of the rankings, as well as the Noordwal Cup Premier Division matches, which was very crucial games. But let's have a look. Let's start with the results of all the main schoolboy matches that was played in South Africa that we've got hold of.
Right. So in no particular order. So first one, Stellenberg versus Boland Landbou. Um, I watched the second half of this game. Actually, it wasn't a bad game. But
Yeah.
silly mistakes cost Boland Landbou the game, unfortunately. So it is what it is. Then
Yeah, it's good to see Stellenberg still playing consistently. They're still in the top three in South Africa, or
yeah,
fourth in South Africa now. So, and they're still in the top five. They were at one stage with the number one team, but they
yeah.
are still consistently producing good results, still in the winning
Mm,
way.
yeah.
Boland Landbou by no means is a weak team. I think they're the
No.
number one team in Boland,
Yeah.
the number one school in Boland. So that's a very
Yes.
good, strong result for them.
And then Rondebosch 29, Bishops 24,
Yeah,
Weinberg 26, Sachs 15. That's an interesting
yeah.
result.
Oh
Uh,
yes, both the four those four teams are strong traditional teams in the Western Cape schools. You know, as I say, every school game in Western Cape is like a test match.
yeah,
Rondebosch Bishops are historical schools, so that's a strong, very good victory for Rondebosch. And Weinberg and Sachs also needs no introduction. I remember when I played for the under 13 team for Paul Grelem, we played against Weinberg's C team and B team. We managed to beat the C team and B team. I was reserved that day for the first team. But the A team was in an absolute different level. You know, it was incredible. We couldn't get a game against the A team. We could only get games against the third team and the second team. That's how strong Weinberg is.
sure. Right.
And that was in the 90s. So Weinberg always, from primary level until high school levels, got strong schools.
Mm. And then Michael House 24, Maritzburg College 27.
Yeah, the battle for the top honors in the Natal schools.
Yeah. And the next one, Hilton versus Kearsley. That was a very good game. That was a
Wow.
hugely entertaining game.
If I can, sorry, just quickly add something, Louis. It's quite
Yes.
interesting to see. We must remember Hilton College is a top 10 school in South Africa rugby, where Kirsten was outside the top 20. But
Yeah.
as the season grows older and older, Kirsten College is starting to really become more and more competitive, and they are really producing some good results. To have managed
Well,
to hold Hilton until the final minute,
yeah.
and and only come within 4 minutes, 4 points. Wow,
Yeah.
they are really playing some incredible good rugby.
Yeah. It was a seriously good game. Um, And I think, to be very honest, if there
Yes.
was maybe 5 more minutes, Kesney could have taken it, because they kept on pushing, kept on pushing, kept on pushing right to the end. Um,
Wow.
Hilton scored, Kesney scored. Hilton scored, Kesney scored. Hilton scored, Kesney scored. It was really like a tennis match the whole time. It was phenomenal rugby. And both sides did not want to budge. So a very, very, very entertaining game.
Yeah, no, it's two strong teams, and as I said, the battle for the number one spot in Natal is really heating up now. That's it's going to be like that until the final game. I can guarantee you.
Oh yeah.
The next game, Louis, was that a Vault
Yeah,
Noordval Trophy
Noordval,
Premiership game?
Noordval cup match. And the
Okay.
is his name Piet Erasmus. He is the face of the Noordval Cup. He was at this game. Um, yeah.
Okay.
So Noordjewel 24, Waterkloof 12. We got back home too late, so I only watched the highlights
Yes.
of this game. But Steve, Noordjewel came out to play, and they beat Waterkloof at home. That's amazing.
That's
That's
brilliant.
really amazing.
I
So,
think Waterkloof, because of that defeat, have slipped now outside the top 10. If I'm not mistaken, we will have a look now. But yeah, that's an incredible result for Noordjewel.
yeah. And then Westphalia
Yeah.
23, Klerksdorp 22. Haha. Interesting
Yeah,
result.
that's a close game.
And then um, Hudson Park 22, Sterling 5. And as we've seen up till now, Sterling has had a very difficult season up to now. So
Mm.
I feel very sorry for them. And the same again. Selborne 36, Cambridge 10. Cambridge also having a very, very difficult season. And this was another game.
Yeah, no, it's
Kingswood 29, St. Andrews 10.
sure.
Steve, it was within the first 5 minutes, Kingswood scored twice, right? And I thought,
Yeah.
this is going to be a runaway game. If they continue like this, it's going to be game over. But St. Andrews, in the first half, they barely held on. But the second
Yes.
half, although the scoreline doesn't reflect exactly what was going on, but in the second half, it was much better. And they really tried their utmost to outsmart Kingswood. But unfortunately, it was one of those days. Nothing worked in their favor. So that's what it was, in my opinion. And then the next one, two Pretoria schools, Pretoria Boys High versus St. Albans, 68-20. That's a
Mm.
very interesting result.
Yeah, Pretoria boys are starting to play better and better and better rugby as the season grows older. They had a tough start to the season, but it's now, I think they've got now 2 to 3 games in a row that they've won.
Yeah,
And they were at one stage out of the top 40. They have now crept back inside the top 40 due to good performances. So that will be a good confidence booster ahead of their traditional derby against Office.
yeah. And St. John's College, 26, St. David's, 24. Now,
Sure.
St. John's as well are starting to play better rugby. The last 3 games they've won. So this
Brilliant.
is also very positive for them.
Oh, yes. And then, of course, the next game we will discuss in detail later on. But just to mention, that was the future game. That was the game that Louis and the crew went to cover.
Yes.
But we will talk about it later. But as you can see,
We will
Alpmacar
talk
was
about it
victorious in a
later.
much needed, and that was a much needed win for Alpmacar. To stay in
Um,
contention for playoffs.
yeah, we'll talk about it later. There are so many things happened during that day.
Yes,
It was quite interesting. And then a very interesting result that we also picked up, Randburg 30, Riebeekrant 8.
good
So
win for
also
Randburg.
a good win for Randburg, and I think a much needed win for them as their season
Yes,
has
Louis.
been a little bit up and down, but
Mm.
a good win for them at the end.
Yeah, now our alma maters needed that win. They've
Yeah.
stepped outside the top 100. They now ranked 115th, and that's not a good place for Randburg to be. They're always consistently inside the top 100. They don't want to be outside the top 100. And of course, we all know that if you're outside the top 100, your chances of getting invited to the main festivals are really getting tougher and tougher. So you
Yeah.
want to be inside the top 100.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, all right. So those were most of the results that and the games that happened due to the exams, the June exams. So a lot of schools like Uffie's and some of your other big schools, Grey College, all these guys do not play any rugby during this time.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
but we wait for July to start, and then it will be in full swing again. And then just to come back to the featured game. So as we know, Helpmekaar 52, Hoërskool Middelburg 17.
And
Um,
that's, of course, the game that you and the crew went to, ne?
yeah,
Yourself and
this is
72.
the game we went to. Um, we were there the whole day, and for a change, what was nice to see, there were a lot of people. Steve,
Mm.
from the very first game, the under 14s, right through to the end of the first team. The people arrived, they stayed the whole day.
Brilliant.
It was loud, it was beautiful. The people were extremely friendly. Um, and in our opinion, and also the day actually ran on time. There were no hiccups. Everything ran on time. Um, and it was just phenomenal to see the type of rugby that was played. Um, the under 14s, Steve, I don't know, maybe we were there as well. Maybe it's too early for these kids because I think we were made different, right? But these kids, the under 14s, it looked like half of them are still like zombies on the field and catch the ball like I dropped the ball. It was like, no man, guys, come now. Under 15s, that was a much better game, a very close game. All the games were very close until the
Mm.
first team. Um, the under 16s that played just before the first team won the game in the dying seconds of that game. They literally scored as the whistle went, 24-23.
Sure.
That was amazing. Um, and then the first teams, what a beautiful game of rugby, right? It was, and from both sides, the scrums were excellent. The lineouts. Now, this was very interesting. The lineouts were very good from both sides. But if Helpmekaar stole a lineout from Middelburg, Middelburg stole a lineout from Helpmekaar. So, in all essence, the type of rugby, the brand of rugby that was played was very good. And um, The first half, at the end of the first half, it was still quite tight. Um, I do
Yes.
not know what was said, but suddenly Help McCall just sparked. And in my opinion, the scrum half and the left wing of Help McCall, because he scored two tries, beautiful tries. In my opinion, I would have put both of them as man of the match, right? Scrum half and the left wing. It was just phenomenal to see how these boys wanted to play. And as we know, this was a much needed win actually for both sides, where they stand within the log. So, and now
Yeah.
with this huge win, Help McCar will have a few bonus points, right? So that
Oh
is
yeah. Yeah,
very good.
that was a crucial game for them.
Yeah,
You have to win your home games in
yeah.
all competitions. You
Mm.
have to win your home
Oh,
games. You know,
yes.
if you don't win your home games, it makes your chances so much difficult. Even in school, it's a huge advantage home game territory. You've got the crowd behind you, and if you can't win your
Yeah,
home games,
yeah.
you're already. It's almost like tennis. If you can't hold your serve, you're in big trouble. Now that is with home games in rugby. You've
Oh,
got to, it's
yes.
like keeping yours, holding your serve. You've got to win your home games.
Oh,
So that
yes.
was crucial for Alpaca. The way they won showed me that they are still pretty much hungry for the Premier the World Cup for the to stay in the competition, to make the playoffs, and to keep
Mm.
the place in the finals like last year, and maybe to go on and win it.
Yeah.
It's going to be tougher because we all know Middelburg and
Yeah.
Gasfontein, especially, is in a class of their own at this stage. I mean, Gasfontein seems to be unstoppable this year. But Hamilcar, that was a much needed win, and I think it was an awesome day for you guys. If you guys haven't seen the match or any updates, all the videos that we did some short videos about the day, is available on our Global School Rugby Bonanza YouTube channel. So please go to our Global School Rugby Bonanza YouTube channel, and you can catch all the short videos of the updates of the games that was covered. Presenters, of course, was of course Louis van Kopenhagen, and of course the legendary Madman Von. They were the presenters as always at the game.
And also, just to elaborate more on this, we know what we've seen, especially from Helpmekaar at the Noordside tournament, that even though they got a hiding from Grey College, but what did we see from that team? You see them, they never give up. And this is something we looked at from the under 14s right through to the first team. The under 14s, the under 15s, the under 16s, the third team, the second team, even the first team, they
Yeah.
refuse to give up. And that was speaking volumes of the type of character that these coaches want to instill into these boys. And I just want to applaud them for that. Um, it is just amazing to see. But do not take anything away from Middelburg. They came to play. They came with a mission. They came with a serious mission. Um, Unfortunately, the first team had a very tough day at the office.
Yeah.
Although their lineouts and scrums were working well, the back line didn't fire as we saw them at Noordside. So,
Yes.
but you have your off days. And I mean, it's part of sport, isn't it,
Yeah.
Steve? So some you win, some you
Oh
don't.
yeah. No, you do have. But we'll also let's also be serious. They will still playing against a school that's in the top 20. I mean, Alpakar is one of your top 20 schools in South Africa. I mean,
Mm,
you have to take it in context. Help to be in the top 20 in South Africa means you're a serious quality school.
mm,
That is an absolutely in a league of their own.
mm.
It's not easy to reach the top 20. There's a lot of schools that can only dream of reaching the top 20, never mind top 100.
Yeah,
Helping is consistently in the top 20. And with this win, they are still in the top 20. They are 20th in South Africa
yeah,
Schoolboy Rugby. So Middelburg was up against a serious class outfit. Now, we all know Middelburg is also a school that's inside the top 50. They are consistently between 30th and 50th in South Africa schoolboy rankings. But they were up against a seriously class outfit team, that's got a strong, proud record. Helpmekaar has won the administrative trophy in the past. They've got a huge record, a proud school, huge record. They've undergone a lot of changes. In the past, I remember, especially the time that my dad was in the school, they used to be a boys' school.
Yeah.
A boys' state school for girls. They used to have a Helpmekaar boys' school and a Helpmekaar girls' school that was across the street from one another. And then they changed it to a private school, and they become, boys and girls, and much smaller. So a lot of changes. They don't maybe have the depth like an office have, but boy, are they competitive, and do they still have they still kept that proud tradition and the pride to play for Helpmekaar? It's still there, and they are competitive. Yes. At the North State, when we went, they gave Grey College a serious go. They at one stage were leading. And in the first half, they were only behind by 12 points. And I think they lost by 24 or 26 points, but they gave Grey College a serious go, especially in the first half. So Helpmekaar by no means is a team that you can ever underestimate. And they fight until the very end. All the games I've seen them play, whether they are 50 points behind or 20 or 3 points, they still play every single point. And they give the other teams, they put the other team under pressure no matter what. They play until that final whistle blows.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then last but not least, now we all know, as we've come accustomed to, this is your baby, my friend.
I love the rankings.
Take us away.
Right. There's not much changes. The ranking has stayed pretty consistent from last week when I checked it out. Paul Gymnasium still number 1. Gasfontein still number 2. Paul Roos still number 3. In fact, the top 7 is still the same. Paul Gym 1, Gasfontein 2nd, Paul Roos 3rd, Stellenberg 4th, Office 5th, Paul Boys High. No changes there because there wasn't a lot of games this weekend. Grey College is still at 7th. Monument also didn't play this weekend, so they're still at 8th. Oakdale still 9th. I think the only change is, of course, Waterkloof was 10th, but because of their loss, they now have slipped out of the top 10. And Outeniqua. Outeniqua is now 10th, followed by Waterkloof. Maritzburg College also moved up a couple of places, if I'm not mistaken. They're at 12. Hilton College is also a team that's knocking on the top 10. They're 13th. Northwood also a strong team at 14th.
I cut it off. Sorry. I see that now. Sorry, my bad.
I'm not quite sure who was 15th and 16th.
Oh dear.
Okay, but we'll continue. Michael House was 17th. Rondebosch was 18th. So I think Durban High was 15th, if I'm not mistaken. Durban High was 15th. Durban High was the 15th team, and I can only guess who was the 16th, but it's okay. Michael House 17th, Rondebosch 18th, HTS Drotstein 19th, and then Helpmekaar with that win have cemented their place still in the top 20, which was crucial for them to have stayed inside the top 20. 21st was Kirsten. 22nd is JP College. Wynberg 23rd. Noordheuwel 24th. Grey High, the number 1 school in Eastern Cape at 25th. They slipped down 1 position because Noordheuwel won the Noordheuwel won that game, 24-12.
Noordheuwel won, yes.
And that's why they now in the top 50. They've moved up a couple of places. And Grey High has slipped down to 25th. Durbanville, also a strong season. They slipped from 25th to 26th, but they're still competitive and up and there. At one stage, they were inside the top 20. So Durbanville is also having quite a good season. Grain College, the number 2 team in Eastern Cape, 27th. Swartkop still remains at 28th. They're in the second divisions and one of the favorites to win the second division of the World Cup. Menlo Park is a first division team, but they are below Swartkop. They're in 29th. Sax is 30th. 31st and 32nd is unfortunately also cut off. I can't see them.
Sorry.
No problem. Kingswood is 33rd. Nelspruit is 34th. Cairns is 35th. Good for them to be in the top 35. I think I've got a feeling Kirsty College is one of the is in 31st and 32nd. Because especially after the first day, they are definitely up in there. So I think Kirsty College is one of the teams that's now just outside the top 30. Um, but if you want to check out on our Facebook group the top 40 rankings, so it's not completely cut off. It is available on our Facebook group, so you can just go back to our Facebook group to check the top 50, or you can go to Rugam, where the top 100, the top 400 is actually, which is quite incredible. Dale College, 36. Queen's College, 37th. Rustenburg, 38th. And then look at Bishops, 39th. And then Pretoria Boys High with some good victories, as I said, have now crept back inside the top 40. And we have to remember the gap between first and 40th is very slim and very competitive. So take nothing away. Pretoria Boys High is going to be ready for Affies. They have given Affies a good scare last year. You watched the game last year, so you will know. Pretoria Boys High can beat Affies. They have beaten Affies in the past before. So don't think just because Affies is 5th and Pretoria Boys High is 40th, it's going to be an easy game for Affies. By no means.
It's not going to be an easy game. With that derby, it seems, I don't know, it seems with all these derbies, if you look at Randburg Linden, the two Paul schools, Affies versus Pretoria Boys High, as soon as these derbies happen, it's like something, they all go into a sixth gear and they really bring their game. And I mean, as you mentioned, I watched the game between Pretoria Boys High and Affies, and after the first 10 minutes, Pretoria Boys High was leading. And I'm like, these guys came out to play, and I thought, how are they going to get back? But eventually, Affies were victors, but do not take anything away from Pretoria Boys High.
Oh, yeah. Some honorable mentions, Kempton Park, 41st. Paddle Valet, they're a team that plays in the second division of Western Province, the Western Province League. And the second division of the Western Province League is incredible competitive league. It's teams like Paddle Valet, DF Milan, Belleville, Tiger Valet, that's in that league. So it's strong teams. I mean, Belleville, we will talk about them later in the episode, because there's an exciting interview that's lining up for us. J.G. Jansen, Nico Mulan, Glenwood, and St. John's and Selborne are also teams that's up and about in the top 50, and that needs to be mentioned. Nico Mulan's also had a good season. They also were at I think they were both Willaclave and the Noordstate tournament. So they have also been very competitive inside South African schoolboy rugby.
And look at St. John's. They are creeping up the ladder slowly but surely because of the last couple of weeks of some good wins. So, and it's good to see that these, let's call it smaller schools, are creeping up the ladder that they want to, and it seems they are hungry. It seems something has woken these boys up in 2026, because, Steve, we've never seen something like this in a very long time. So
our schoolboy rugby is getting bigger and bigger by the year, Louis. It's absolutely amazing. Last year it was a typical, your strong schools that was in the top 5. The Paul teams, Paul Roos, Affies, and Great College. This year, a lot of changes and a lot of schools that you didn't expect to be in the top 5 is there. Garsfontein, Stellenberg. It's just incredible. I mean, who would have thought that Garsfontein, that was 8th last year, will be 2nd at this stage? And who would have thought Stellenberg, that wasn't even in the top 10 last year, is 4th. Oakdale, that was 6th, is now 9th. It's incredible rugby. Incredible to see the competition and the schools that is really starting to become more and more professional. I mean, even a school like Belleville's got Western Province rugby players that plays for the senior team, Currie Cup, and the URC teams as consultants. But we will also talk about that later on. But it's
Mm.
incredible to see how professional Schoolboy and our series, and it shows you that our depth and our structure and our grassroots system in South Africa is strong and it works. It
Yeah.
really works, and it just gives you an amazing depth for the future for South African rugby and for Rassie Erasmus at this stage of his current setup.
Yeah.
And a lot of the boys that plays now has already been signed up to play provincial rugby. I think of a person, the fullback of Great College, Mugetsi. He's
Yeah.
been signed up to play for the Stormers. Am I correct, Louis?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, he's been signed
Ah,
up by the.
you should have come to the Lions, man, because
Yeah,
I
but talking about the
absolutely
Lions, the
loved him.
captain of Great College has been signed up to play to go to play for the Lions and the academy
Yes,
team.
yes,
Viljoen, the fly off of Monument has been signed up to play for the Blue Bulls
yeah,
already.
yeah,
He's already been signed.
yeah,
So a lot of the schoolboys that's playing right now has already been signed up
yeah,
to play to go and play for the provincial teams. There's a
yeah,
player that's been signed up. I'm not quite sure, but I saw an article. I will come back and see if I can maybe mention it next week. A player that's been signed up to play for Scotland, for Edinburgh, that has been signed up.
yes,
He's also been selected to play for Scotland under 20. So obviously he's got Scottish heritage.
yeah,
He's right now in
and
one of the South African schools, and he's been
yeah,
signed up to play for Edinburgh.
yeah. And interesting now that we're talking about the sign-ups, um, the back three of Afis, the two wings and the fullback have also been signed by the Bulls.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely
So
incredible.
that is really, really amazing. And the scrum half of Afis has also been signed by the Bulls. So
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
that's very good. And you know, like um I think this is where the biggest I think this is where the biggest problem from schoolboy rugby to senior level, that the guys, it's very difficult to, if you play, let's say, in the Blue Bulls region or the Blue Bulls Cravenweek team, that you will stay within that region. You will see
Yeah,
they will move down to Cape Town or the Cheetahs or the Lions or whatever the case might be. And I think this is also what the coach of Graham College has mentioned, that it's so difficult to keep these boys in the province because all the other provinces just scoop them up.
yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Awesome. As we return up to the main screen again, it's been incredible a few weeks of Schoolboy Rugby. We've seen some amazing rugby, and yes,
Yes.
it's exams times, but after the exams, the battle will continue.
Yeah.
We will still go on as normal. We still have our featured team of the week that we post every week. I need to mention this is not an SA Schools teams.
No.
We only identify players that really stood out, of matches that we watched that really stood out in the weekend, and we give them an honorable mention by including them in our global schoolboy team. I think for next episode, Louis, we should actually also put it part of the presentation, the team of the week, and then we can discuss it on the episode.
Yeah,
Also,
why not?
and then you can, and absolutely, and then all the viewers that.
Yes, and I think that will also give people more clarity of why we select certain schools and not other schools. So I think that is a very good idea.
Okay.
And then we will do that from the next episode, and then we will go through that and then just discuss why. I mean, that's always the question that needs to be answered.
Absolutely. And then the viewers can also weigh in and give their opinions.
Yes, that's what we want.
Absolutely, we welcome it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that give your team of the week on our Facebook group. Please do. Talking about our Facebook group, our community is absolutely growing. We are as we speak, we are at 1,894 members. We are at the brink of 1,900 members. It's just incredible. When we did episode 1, we were just over the top 100. I think we were just inside or just underneath the 100 members. We are now at 1,035 episodes later, and we are at 1,894. Thank you so much. And we are talking not only about members from South Africa. We are talking about members globally. We've got members from the United Kingdom, Ireland, England. Dave Brown from England, for example. Suzanne Fergus and Gregor Galway from Ireland. That's very regular enthusiasts, as the supporters. They post regularly on the group and comment on a regular basis on the group. We've got members from Madagascar. And believe it or not, we even have a member from Sri Lanka that put in a post yesterday or 2 days back on our group about Sri Lankan schoolboy rugby, 2 teams in Sri Lanka battling it out. And believe it or not, rugby in Sri Lanka is quite huge. It's very competitive, especially in the school system. They've got a brilliant system on the school system. In fact, Sri Lanka's national team is playing regularly in the Asia qualifying structures. They've even got an under 85 team that played last year against the New Zealand under 85 kilograms team. So Sri Lankan rugby is very, very competitive. And it's great to have members from Sri Lanka rugby. We've even got a member from Brazil.
Yes.
Which is brilliant. So please, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, please join our Global School Rugby Bonanza Facebook group and become part of the Maniacs. If you are watching it on YouTube, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe on our YouTube channel, Global School Rugby Bonanza. All our episodes will always be available on the Facebook group as well as our YouTube channel. And then we've got other platforms also. We've got a TikTok platform under Global Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza. And then on the WhatsApp channel, we are still under Global Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza. And then we've also got an Instagram platform where we are under Global School Rugby Bonanza. So please become part of the community that's passionate about schoolboy rugby. Of course, in next week's, our next episode will be in this week. We normally have about 2 episodes, sometimes 1, sometimes we've got 2 episodes in a week. We will have an episode later in this week on Thursday. We will give you we will show you an episode of an interview that we had with Bellville's coach. Now, for those of you who don't know, Bellville Schools is a very strong competitive school. They play in the Western Province 2nd Division. They are ranked 99th in South Africa, so they're a strong team. And they've got a regular derby against DF Milan Academy every year. That's one of the oldest derbies in the region. And they've had this derby since 1990, so it's more than 36 years old. They play every single year. Now, for the first time ever, okay, we're only 2 years old, but we're going to send a crew to the derby. I will be there at the derby with my Cape Townian cameraman that lives in Cape Town, Dion Jansen from Rensburg, and we will cover that incredible classic derby between Bellville High and DF Milan. Now, on Thursday, we will show you an interview that we had with the coach of Bellville, an incredible man. Where he's gonna talk about the anticipated derby that they're gonna have, and he's also gonna talk about what's happening at Bellville Rugby School. Now, when we had the interview, Bellville was ranked 112. They're now currently ranked 99th in South Africa, so they're just inside the top 100, which means that they are ready for the derby against DF Milan. At the time of speaking, DF Milan Academy wasn't ranked inside the top 100. So they weren't ranked yet, but they are also playing in the 2nd division of the Western Province School. So please, you don't want to miss Thursday's episode of the interview we had with Bellville's coach. Of course, if you want to catch up on any of our previous 34 episodes, you can always go back on our YouTube channel or even on our Facebook group. You just go to the featured section and all the episodes will be there, including the links for our online magazine that we bring out every month. We bring out the edition of the Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza online magazine. Of course, we cannot end the episode without thanking all our crew that is working incredibly hard behind the scenes, all our volunteers. We are still not doing it for money. We are doing it for the passion. as we are growing, it will get better and better. But we would like to thank every single one that's passionate about rugby and that's working with myself and Louis as the founders. A huge thank you to our co-leader, Elaine Hogan from Ireland, Limerick, Ireland. I need to get that right. Limerick, Ireland, Elaine Hogan. She's passionate about rugby, the growth and development of rugby. She's one of our regular contributors also on the group, Facebook group. She's really helping and she's incredibly passionate. She's also on the interview panel. Those of you who would like to see her in action, just go back to our interview we had with Grey College captain, the captain of Grey College, Alexi. Elaine made a debut as an interviewer on that one, and she's going to be a regular interviewer on the panel with us. Also, a huge thank you to our editor on the online magazine with Louis, our co-editor on the online magazine, Arno Boertes. Absolute incredible journalist and old school. He's got, I think, more than 20 to 30 years of experience of journalism. He's also one of our editors, and he also works side hand in hand with Louis with the online magazine. He's also on the interview panel. He also is part of the interviews that interview the captains, the schoolboy captains nowadays, as well as the coaches. And Robertus, thank you so much for all your work and your input. Then, of course, we can also not end the episode without thanking Louis' beloved wife, Sarah from Copenhagen. She is part of the online magazine. She helps out with the layout with the online magazine. Thank you so much. A huge thank you to Sarah from Copenhagen for her work behind the scene. Without her, the magazine won't be able to be ready on time. She really pushes Louis, and she works 24/7 on weekends before the deadline to make sure that magazine comes out on time. Yeah. And then, of course, we would like to thank you, our crew, for the Featured Games. As always with Louis at the Featured Game. The madman, our co-presenter on the Featured Game, Mr. Von, growing from strength to strength. He was in his crazy self mode again this weekend, almost attacking Louis in one of the videos because he was frustrated about the result. But I love his energy. Mr. Von, thank you so much. Without you, it wouldn't have been possible to go to the featured matches. Thank you so much. And then, of course, no cameraman, no visuals. Yes. You won't be able to see him unless we rotate the screen, which we have done. But Brian, our cameraman, Brian Dudley, thank you so much for your work. He's also one of the moderators on our Facebook group and passionate. He's present at almost every single featured game unless circumstances or work prevents him from being there. Thank you so much to our team. And then also, thank you so much to all our members. A huge shout out to that Sri Lankan gentleman. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name. But if you're watching, thank you so much for your post and your contribution. And then to all our members that always are contributing, thank you so much. Yeah. This brings an end to our episode, jam-packed episode once again. Please join us for our next episode. We will show you the interview we had with Belleville's coach, the first team coach of Belleville. But until then, from myself and Mr. Louis, it's goodbye.